Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm going to show you just quickly how I make one of these little booklets that seem to be fairly popular. They're very cute actually, I think too. Easy, simple. And wait till you see what they're made from. So that's another one. And this is another one also. Okay, I first of all need to tell you the size. The finished size is like just over 4.5 by 3, and the covers and the pockets are made from, guess what? An envelope. That's it. And the flap forms the pockets, and it's sturdy enough that it holds well for the covers. So all I do to make the covers is I put a little dab of glue right on that flap there, and a little bit here on this flap, and that's all the gluing there is. So there you go, there are my pockets already done. Cover's already done. Now I have to decorate it, don't I? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose an image here. So I'm going to put that image on there, so I'll just glue that on. I'm not going to decorate this completely. All I do for decorations actually is just a little bit of lace somewhere. I'm not going to do that right now because this is just the basic. So I'll just put the glue on there, and I'm going to glue that right there. So there's the image on the cover, two little girls, so cute. It's a little vintage photograph. And then I've got a little number here that I'm going to put on at the bottom. Okay, so there's the little number, and that's going to go right there. So that's that. And if you notice, I've added the photograph just a little bit toward the open edge, because when the ribbon is down there, it may cover up a little bit if it's too far over that way. It's up to however you care to do it. And so anyhow, I'm just going to leave that like that. So that's that. Now to put the pages in. I've already assembled the pages, and I mentioned in an article somewhere, I'm not sure where, that I make 4 pages. In other words, it's 8 when it's opened like that. So I have 1, and this is some beautiful old handwriting from a French child's school book. I just love it. Here it says Toulouse, and that's one of my favorite places to go when I'm in France, Toulouse. That looks like a drawing he or she did, I don't know. And then the next piece of paper is, I've got some tea stain paper there, and then I've got some other lined paper here. This is how it's going together. And then this is French script. Now this was from an old French book, and a lot of times when I get it from an old French book, it's a little fragile in the center, so I've gone ahead and I've glued down a piece right in the center so that adds stability. So that's good. And then the next thing to do is to sew it. So I'm going to put this like this. Where is it here? So I've got this right here like that. I'm just going to hold it with a clothespin right there while I thread up my needle. And for the twine I use, it's a very heavy, I think it's a tailor's linen. It's a huge spool I have of it, and it works very well, but I double it actually. So I've already got a needle and thread here, and I've already threaded and doubled it, and actually I've doubled it to where it's too long, so I'm going to cut a piece off it, and I'm just going to tie it again. This knot is just so it won't pull through and it won't remain on there. Okay, so I'm just going to double check that I haven't got anything not good. Yes, I've got it all good. So I'm going to sew it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through there, and I'm leaving the cord, I call it linen really. I'm going to leave the linen, a little bit long. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to go down here, which is about 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters from the top. Then I'm going to go over this, right down the same distance from the bottom. I didn't even put holes in ahead of time for this because it's so easy to puncture with the needle. I'm using a fairly big darning needle. Okay, so I've got that now. The last part of it to complete the stitching is to go back through this hole right here. And I'm going right back through. Now, I'm going to make sure that I've got a thread. You see the center here? I've got to make sure I've got a thread either side. And I do, so goody. Now I'm just going to pull that a little bit taut, and then I'm going to do a couple of overhand knots, or double knots or something. Some sort of knots that just... Actually, I think these are square knots I'm doing. So that's 2. And I'm going to do one more. That's that. Okay, so I've cut that off, and I've cut... So there it is. That's the binding, and that's it. And there it is on the side, if you care to see that. So that's the stitching. Now I could just leave it like that, but I wanted to give it a little more oomph. So what I did was I took some of my seam binding, I've squished it up, wrinkled it with some water on it, and I just sort of crumpled up and let it dry, and then I put some of that around the spine, and by doing that I go into the center again, and then I come around and I make sure that the ribbon is going to be a little bit on the front side when it's tied. If that makes sense. So I haven't cut it yet. I don't cut anything normally until I've actually worked with it. So this is, let me see, this is going to be... So the first thing is I'm going to put that there, which is a good place for it, and I'm going to tie it in a knot, and I'll figure out how to actually pull it over in a minute, but I'm going to put a knot there. Okay, so that's good, Now just pull that over. So it's right on the edge. So now you'll see I've got the shorter piece there, and I've got this long piece. Well, this long piece is the part that's going to make the loop, and I only make one loop for these. It's what I call a one loop bow, and I think I'll do it right there. So I'll do this. Sorry, my hands are in the way. It's kind of tricky to do this. Okay, so there's my one loop bow, and I've got all this left, so I'm just going to trim that to where I would like it. I don't like it too short. Okay, take it away. Don't like it too short. Okay, there we go. So that's the little finished booklet, and all I need to do now is, as I said, I'll go inside eventually and put a little bit of lace up, maybe down the side. I like to make a line across where the pocket is so you know that that's the pocket. And I usually make a little lace trim across there, so that goes there. And then of course this is where the center is, and then the back pocket I would do the same. I would put a tag in there, and I would put a little bit of trim across there. And the only other adornment I may put, you know, a little bit of lace down one page or 2 pages. Nothing too much, because it's not meant to be that type of, you know, booklet. This is like a little gift book where you can write a greeting to somebody. They can carry it in their purse, and or they can store their little photographs, make it into a little tiny photograph album. I think they're really easy, and just they're light and nice to put in an envelope and mail to one of your friends. This is showing you how I've actually added some lace across the pocket, and I did add a little bit of trim down there. And on the back one, I also added some lace across there. So that's basically all the adornment. Same thing here. This one I have not finished yet, but I'm going to add a little trim there. There's a little lace down here. And I did put a little lace, this one I put a little lace there with a tag. And then in the back there's this piece of trim. So all I have to do to finish this is here. So that would be that one. And then this one, I put some lace across there. Another little lace piece there. This one has a little more lace, a little bit in the corner there. It seemed to need it. Little lace down that page. And then the back, instead of putting just a strip of trim there, I put a little fragment of lace right there. So that's how they are. So this is the one we've just made. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that helped or you enjoyed that. And don't forget that these are for sale if you'd like to get one. Not expensive, but lovely little mementos. And you'll find them in my Etsy shop. Not today, maybe in a couple of days. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.